Oh, I can see a few people starting to join us now. Hi, everyone who's coming in. We're just going to give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started. But yeah, welcome and just... Hey, to anyone that's just joining us, we're going to get going in a second, if that's all right. Okay, well, welcome everyone. This to our Ask a Student event about what it's like studying a creative subject at university. My name's Hannah. I am a postgraduate student studying creative writing at Loughborough University, and I will be hosting today's session alongside my lovely two student colleagues from up and down the country. If you just want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Amira Mutiara, and I'm from Leeds Arts University. And yeah, it's my second year in the university.
Hello everyone, I'm Mo. I'm from Arts University Bournemouth. Originally, I'm from Bahrain. I'm not a British student, so I have a slightly little bit more experience with when it comes to studying at the UK. Yeah, I did film production, by the way. That's another thing.
Wonderful. So today's going to be quite an informal session. So if you're all right, just to keep yourself muted while the panelists are speaking. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them into the chat function, and we will get started going through those. But first and foremost, I think each of us will just give a brief rundown of our course, what sort of that entails. We will speak about things such as why we chose to study at our particular university, what it was about our chosen subjects that attracted us to it. We can talk about things about like the structure of our days and how those differ. So I myself am at Loughborough. Amira is in Leeds and Mo is in Bournemouth. So we've got three quite diverse different atmospheres. So Loughborough itself is a campus university, so very different from the vibe in a city, but it all depends on what sort of things you're after. So the three of us will be able to provide quite a unique insight to that. We'll also talk about things such as student experience, things that you can get involved inside with outside of your degree. And then generic questions like student accommodation, maybe some of our own experiences of things, and student support. So I'll start. I studied English literature at Loughborough from 2015, so quite a while ago now, as people keep reminding me. But I initially chose to study my 3-year BA undergraduate here at Loughborough. I was initially attracted to the course content and just I came to Loughborough and it was a very kind of vibrant campus atmosphere, and it was somewhere that I personally felt that I would fit in very well. It wasn't particularly somewhere that I had thought of studying English before. English is quite one of the classical subjects that is offered by many universities, so it wasn't necessarily a specialism choice for me. It was more of a place where I felt that I fitted in. And then, as I say, I've gone on to postgraduate study further down the line. So I now do a part-time degree in creative writing alongside work, and I've been afforded so many opportunities, one of which included doing things like this and being able to speak to people about my experience, and it's improved my confidence in public speaking. And yeah, I will go into more detail about days in the life and things if anybody's interested in it, but for now I'll pass on to Amira, and if you can tell us a little bit about your course and why you chose to study at Leeds.
Yeah, so I'm from Indonesia, and doing arts like drawing has been my favorite, but I also see myself involved in like organizations. So I used to attend like nonprofit organizations, and then I do all the designs for it. And from there on, I know that I want to do graphic design. And then I know that studying graphic design, I want to like learn and study in the art specialist university. So Leeds Art is my choice, and a lot of people from Indonesia has been attending Leeds, and they have like awesome feedback about it. And I'm so excited to experience it myself, and I have proved it myself. And it's been quite interesting journey living in the UK, because it's so different from my country, but it also boosts every aspect of myself, from like confidence, settling in, being independent. And yeah, I think it has taught me a lot studying abroad and doing graphic design, and in the UK has open to a lot of opportunities back in my country, because during the summer I always took internships back at home, so I gain also professional knowledge besides my study. And yeah.
No, that's wonderful. I really want to hear more about that as we go on tonight, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about that. Mo, are you okay to tell us a little bit about your experience and life in Bournemouth?
Well, my experience with the studying in general didn't start with Bournemouth. It started in a different country in 2013 with interior architecture, but interior architecture, it's not what I wanted to do back in the days, and instead it's not something for me, to be honest. But I realized, okay, there is some film industry, there is a film making, and I'm really passionate about these type of like the media in general. So I discovered Arts University Bournemouth, read the course structure. I was comparing, I will be honest with everyone, I was comparing Arts University Bournemouth with the US universities. And I was like, that's the only university at the UK attracted me, to be honest. And then let's see what's the US saying, like the other part of the world and Canada and any other countries. But honestly, but based on the course structure, based on the environment, especially, like it's not just about the university, it's about the people you are surrounded with, it's about the equipment they will provide you with, and the course structure is the main thing. That where I realized, hold on, it's something really creative, it's a practical based, it's a huge collaborative work. So I started in 2015 after I dropped into architecture. In 2015, I moved to the UK, so I started my journey in between Bournemouth and Southampton. I was living there next door because it's quite cheaper. Sometimes as a student, you have to adapt to these type of scenarios. If you can't find accommodation, so you can find, for example, in Bournemouth, we have Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole. So you might discover these within the days while you are studying. Hold on, I don't have to live in town. I can live somewhere near the university, in between town and the university. Yeah, I'm happy, to be honest, to answer any questions you have about course, Bournemouth, our beach. We have the sandy beach here in Bournemouth, and it's summer very soon. Yeah.
That's wonderful. I've been lucky to go to Bournemouth once or twice. It is a beautiful part of the UK, and especially when it gets a little bit warmer. which is quite rare, but I imagine it's definitely one of the better places to be in the summer months.
True.
We've had a chat through from Nadia, and this I think you've both expressed about being international students, so hopefully you two will be better at answering this than I am. She says, is studying in the UK more affordable than studying in the countries where you were originally from?
I can't answer that. It's not. It's way.
Oh dear. I'm not sure where Mo's gone. Hopefully he's just dipped out momentarily, or maybe it's something to do with his internet. But I don't know, Amira, if you want to continue with that.
Yeah, sure. It's not as affordable as it is studying in my country back in Indonesia, but here, like, a university for bachelor degree is 3 years, and it is 4 years back at my country. And I was thinking, my plan was like to graduate with like master degrees within the 4 years I am at university. So it's not as affordable as it was in my country, but with the time being efficient, I feel like it is worth it to go this far and like learning a lot of new stuff and experience.
Yeah, wonderful. Mo, you back? I thought you'd left us.
Apology for that. I have no clue what's happening exactly. So yeah, it's like studying at the UK is way expensive comparing with my back home, because if you think about it, I was back home, I got everything sorted, I got my car, I got everything, but moving to the UK, it's quite tricky because I need to find new accommodation, new place to live, friends, everything, like restaurants, job, and a new income for me. And also, as an international student, you will have to sort that. I'm talking back in the days, not now. Now they get rid of these rules, but back in the days, you have to get 22 grand in your personal account for a whole month, which is something kind of unbelievable for students. But it's expensive, yes, but I looked at it as investment in my future, as something I want. It's not just a paper. It's something, it's like, okay, I'm investing, as I was saying, it's like investing in apples or in Amazon or in Tesla. It's something like that. Think about yourself. You are worth than these things, like you're worth more. So I was like, okay, I will put the whole money I have just for the sake of this certificate to achieve my dream.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is something worth it. Don't think about how expensive it is, because as a student you'll get so many student discounts.
Yeah, I was going to say, so do the both of you feel that the benefits of studying in the UK outweighed potentially the financial implications, or is it to do with, is it reputation, is it accessibility? What is it about coming to study at a university in the UK that that outweighs that financial cost to you both?
To me, it's just the like I was thinking, comparing, like if I would study interior architecture for a good 5 years back home, and then I will end up without job, or like job hunting the whole time and unemployed. I would rather to do something creative and something I can create the job by myself, and something also unique to my country, because in the Middle East, it's quite rare to find filmmakers who studied film. You will be able to find filmmakers, but they are based on personal experience and short courses, but they don't believe that film production, it's like subject you can study from A to Z. Yeah. It's like, do you really learn to how to click record? But in reality, it's not how to click record. No, there's so many aspects of it. And yeah, so to me, it was like something, it's like gambling at the beginning, honestly, because I got a couple of things back home. I can use them to make income. And then what's the next step? But after first year, to be honest, like I realized, hold on, the university got a very good reputation. Like in my first year, I walked to the university and I saw Edgar Wright, the baby driver, was sitting with the course leader on top of table and talking
Wow.
together. And I was like, oh, our course leader got a brother, looks like him. And have no clue that was Edgar Wright. And I walked past him and I was talking to my friend and I was like, oh, that's his brother, yeah? He was like, mate, that's Edgar Wright, Baby Driver director. And I was like, oh, okay.
A lot of opportunities and connections,
Yeah.
especially. Well, what do you think, Amira? Is there anything you'd like to join in on that?
Yeah, I think it's about making connections, because here I get to see a lot of people, and like your friends could be your colleagues in the future. It's making a whole new future for you, like studying in the UK, and I think it's worth it. Like, I'm also thinking about stepping out of the box, because when you're in your home country, it's like you know everyone. Like mostly your friends are going to in the same uni, but here I'm just settling on my own and like creating new friends on my own, and quite terrifying at first, but I
Can imagine.
do find it enjoyable. I have like the best time in my life now, and it's been fun to go on this ride. Yeah.
That's fantastic to hear. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Sometimes it's very scary. And I remember moving away for the first time and having all these kind of preconceptions about what life at university would be like, and having like living on my own with all these flatmates, all these people I didn't know before. And I can say that it wasn't what I expected. And then there were points where it was more than I was expecting, points where it was much more difficult, which leads on nicely. We've had a couple of comments in the chat from Nora. So I think if that leads quite nicely to, she's asked, how difficult was it getting settled, getting accommodation, and making friends? Now, Nora, I'm not sure if you mean that as an international student coming from the UK. I mean, I'm a UK-based student, a home student originally, and personally, I found it quite difficult at points, being uprooted and moving to this new place. As I've said, it's terrifying and exciting in quite equal measures. For me, the accommodation process, I was lucky enough to be able to go and look around Loughborough, to take a look at some of the accommodation before I selected, which I imagine might be a slightly different experience to the other two. And for Loughborough, we have a dedicated like accommodation website that does 360 online tours of all different rooms, and for us, you get your offer, and when you get your results, that's when you're able to choose your accommodation. So for my first year of study, I lived in a self-catered accommodation in one of the halls of residence on campus, which was brilliant. It was certainly an experience. I was with 6 other complete strangers, sharing bathrooms, sharing kitchens, having to tidy the kitchen with them once a week, otherwise we'd get in trouble with the cleaner. And it was all sort of this new experience of not having anybody that you were sort of responsible to. You could come in at whatever time you liked, you could cook what you liked, you could do that. But all of those sort of experiences led to being able to stand more on my own 2 feet. It's quite strange for me now thinking that I ever didn't do it, but I do remember it being quite daunting when I arrived. Mo, I don't know what if you have experience of that?
Well, to be honest, like it was easy for me to get settled because I like traveling in general, and I like adapting to any environment. But the only difficult thing I was finding, because I was going vegetarian, and honestly, choosing Bournemouth was the best thing, because we have so many not vegetarian, vegan also restaurants around the whole Bournemouth.
I just thought there was a lot of fish there, to be honest, being on the coast.
You would think that, but most of the people here are vegetarian. So you will go to we go to place in Bournemouth, and they have like sausage and roll, everything vegetarian, even a whole hot dog, like massive sandwich vegetarian. Like, what? Like a beefy beef burger, and stuff. It's meatless apparently, and like everything I was like finding, okay, that's something cool. Also, we have like another thing I was finding is I was struggling at the beginning, because I'm used to live always by myself, like since 2013, 2012, and I was like, okay, I'm always by myself, like I'm independent, I can't share. So that was something I made a decision of, like, am I going to share house or I'm going to get a studio? So I get myself a studio, but it was quite hard because the place I picked the studio in, it's quite far from the university and stuff
Right.
like that. So by within I would say within a 3 weeks, I like sort out the map of Bournemouth, sort out everything in my head, find everything everywhere, like the train, where is the train station, where is the um, shops, everything. So like it might take you sometimes if you are moving fully to the UK to get settled, but if you are moving just for the study a little bit like other students, it's quite easy because you are going to live in a student accommodation, for example, or share house. But to me, I was trying, because I'm more mature than the other students I was joining the university with, and I was like, I need something like quiet, something that
Yeah.
suits me. And
Everyone's different sort of. Yeah.
exactly.
I think the one of the important things to remember is the majority of people are all sort of in the same place as you. A lot of people won't have lived away from home before. I remember one of my friends from school having quite an interesting experience with Hall's washing machines when he went to do his washing for one of the times, and he rang his mum and he was like, I'm not sure what's going on because my clothes, like they're still dirty, but they're just really damp and really hot. And it turned out that he didn't know which was the washing machine, which was the dryer. So it was all just sort of things that you just keep getting wrong and you sort of learn, but you're surrounded by people who are usually on their first experience of living alone, and certainly living away from family and responsibility like that. Amira, is there anything you found
Yeah, I found it's either like difficult and easy at the same time, because when I got admitted, I started making my Facebook account, because I know most of everyone in here uses Facebook account, and started to look for like friends from there, and I started to contact them if they're international students, and like ask them when they will be in the UK, and I started making friends from Facebook. So by the time I arrived in the UK, I knew quite a people, and then I lived in a flat of like 7 other girls, and it was such an interesting and amazing journey, because like these other people always cook dinner every night, so we get to chat, and like they are from different courses and different universities, so it's nice to know that everyone like is new on this like university. And yeah, I think it's not hard making friends, because like I know everyone is seeking to make friends as well. You just have to put yourself out there. And yeah, I know it sounds terrifying, but when you get to experience it, it's not really that hard.
Definitely. I think, yeah, there's almost sometimes there's too much going on, which is, I remember that my first night I was a little bit overwhelmed, and I remember sitting in my room, my mum had just dropped me off, and I was thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? And there were some fresher helpers who were older students who came around just to check everybody was settling in okay. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to come out tonight. I just want to sort of ease myself in. And they were like, come on, like we're not going to force you if there's something you're really uncomfortable with, but I really think you should just come down and meet everyone, even if it's just for 5 minutes, even if it's just for one event. And I was so glad that they did push me to do that, because I could have quite easily just sat in my room for the whole of that first night. And I went out and I met some people from my hall, and then I met a girl who was on my course, and we were like, oh, we'll walk to lectures tomorrow together. And then through things like that, through societies, course mates, sports, different things, you just find yourself naturally gravitating towards people. I think the first few weeks of sort of induction week, everybody is looking to make friends as well, so everyone is so open to it, that it can be daunting, and it can be especially daunting before you go. But as Amira says, I think Facebook groups, a lot was set up before I arrived as well, and I think that a lot of people were putting in chats like, oh, what do I bring for this, and what block are you in, and what flat are you in? So it's definitely a way of sort of taking a look at that. Now there's another question, sorry, here that I think as 3 students studying creative subjects, I think we have a quite good nous on this one. Nora's asked, for entry, was there a lot of emphasis placed on exam results or more on your portfolio? So Amira, as a graphic designer, would I imagine that that was assessed by a portfolio
Yeah.
submission?
Yeah. So what I need for like my university to get admitted is portfolio. So I need to prepare sort of my best works. So I try to put as much of range of works that I've been producing during high school. That includes like my design works on like social media accounts or any sort of volunteer. And then I also input some of my drawings and then some murals as well. So basically I'm just showing a lot of different range of medias that I could use. And then I think that's what the university also looking for, that you could see like some opportunities in other creative industries as well. So it was on my portfolio.
Definitely. Wonderful. Mo, what about yourself?
So as you are applying for film production, you will expect the course to be without exams, first of all. Second, they don't assess anything based on your exams. Mainly it's your portfolio. So bring everything to your portfolio you can celebrate. Everything you are proud of, any work, any script you worked on, script breakdown you did, like depends on the specialism you are applying to. Each specialism has a different portfolio requirements. For example, in my university, we have in our website, we have like each specialism a short video of what we want to see based on in your portfolio. For example, we have the film course leader talking, or Bournemouth Film School director talking about the film. Each course, or for example, the dance course leader will talk in a short video just to explain and simplify what we want to see in your portfolio.
So wonderful. Yeah, I think it's quite a diverse one, because obviously for a creative subject, if you are being assessed and welcomed onto a course where there's going to be quite a lot of imaginative work and the way that you create in your subject and things. Personally, for English, I had to, well, initially for my undergraduate, just for my English degree, that was I had entry requirements that were exam results. That was more to do with sort of I sat an English literature exam. However, now I think about it, for my postgraduate degree, my tutor did ask me to submit a portfolio of work that I'd written. I had to submit up to say 2,000 words of creative work. So I've got the experience of both sides there. And there's things like I've known students who have come in for interviews, and specifically more for kind of like fine art, graphics, textiles and things. They just sort of want to see what you're about, more of a, no, you don't have to have a fully formed idea of your style as an artist. I think they just want to see what the sort of things that you are interested in and what work you have done. But I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself to have a fully formed idea of who you are as an individual or an artist, because there will be lots of elements of your course that will sort of help you elucidate different areas and things. I don't know if anyone is thinking of studying a subject such as drama. There may be, it will be dependent on different universities. There may be an audition part of the interview selection process. Yeah, go for it, Matt.
Audition. It is you have to submit an audition of specific thing, even because we have acting course. So the acting course, you will have to submit an audition. It's like going for a casting agency. So think about joining university, especially the creative part of the university, the art part. It's always it's not like just university. It's more like applying for a job. So I think what you need for a job, it's slightly the same to the university.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that there are some courses which assess by interview anyway, regardless of whether a creative subject, whether they're more of a theoretical subject. And yeah, it's a good idea to sort of, I think best practice would probably be, if you know the university that you're looking for, to have a look at how they do selection, see if on their website, if there's any information about whether they need a portfolio to assess, whether they whether there is an interview component. I always think it's worth, even if there's nothing on their website, finding the contact details of the university that you're applying to in the department and sending these questions. Be like, is there any element of the application process that I can prepare myself for in advance? I think there's never a bad question when it comes to finding out more about the application process. So yeah, I think we've got another question here that's we've got a question that I'm going to leave to the end, which is about the best and worst things about your universities. So I'm just going to have a look at what made you select your particular universities. It seems hard to do so when coming from outside of the UK. So I'm more than happy for you both to lead on this one. As I say, I'm a home student. I will chip in with my contribution about choosing university at the end. But yeah, I imagine coming internationally and having such a wider scope, what was it that attracted you to? Was it the reputation? Was it geographical location? Was it accessibility of transport, things like that?
I'll be honest, like when it comes to Bournemouth, I have no clue about Bournemouth. I didn't research the area at all because I was focusing on the university, because it's the main key to me. It's just the university. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of Sahara or in the middle of the new forest or anywhere, as long as they have a good material, good equipment, good tutors. And I visited the university, and that's something made me make the decision. I went to different university around the UK, and there is a feeling every time you walk into new place, you have this feeling about it. And I went to different university, and I just can feel the anxiety of the other students. And I was like, Jesus Christ, where I'm walking to? Is it a jail? And honestly, like when you walk to some arts universities or art, it's like walking into exhibition. It's like, oh, everyone happy, life is beautiful. You're just missing the butterflies, to be honest. Honestly, like it's the decision was made within a night to me after visiting Bournemouth, Arts University Bournemouth. The weather was not good at all, even though rainy, windy, it was stormy, and it was almost Christmas. So the whole Bournemouth, it was slightly like a ghost town, except the town, because everyone was like, oh, it's Bournemouth, so it's almost Christmas, students going back home. But I went to the university, and the first thing I really wanted to see was the studios of the filmmaking, because that's where I was going to spend the next of my 3-4 years in. So I went there, I looked at the equipment, I talked to the tutors, and apparently the tutor was working on a big project like outside the university over the summer. And I was like, hold on, so are you a teacher? Are you a tutor? Or are you? He was like, no, I'm a filmmaker. I'm teaching on the side, but in reality, I'm a filmmaker. I can't say I'm a teacher. Yeah. He's like, I'm not like the old school people, and most of them are young. And that's something I was like, hold on, so the university investing in tutors who happens to be teaching on the side, but in reality, they are filmmakers. So that's something you really need to research on, like your tutors, your course structure. Ignore the area. You're not going to starve to die, honestly. Lidl in every corner, Asda in every single corner, Sainsbury, Tesco, everywhere. Like and like friends you will make everywhere. Like don't think, oh, my friends from back home going to this specific area. For example, I got so many friends went to Cardiff, and I was like, good luck. I'm going to Bournemouth. I'm not going to anywhere else because I want to hang out. I'm going to study. I'm not going to for a vacation. And that's something you really have to focus on and think about your own personal future, not just, definitely. Yeah.
I think you made a really good point there about lecturers and professors and kind of things being active in their field of research. It was something I didn't really think about when I joined. And then just being around my department. I found that so many of my lecturers were currently writing material, they were out there, they're actually making real life contributions to things. And it was in my sort of later years of my course that I found that incredibly kind of revitalizing to be around, and sort of pushed me to explore my niche and stuff. And I think, yeah, you definitely you benefit from the industry experience of the people that you have around you. What about yourself, Amira?
So I do agree as well. Like I do look and do some research on the tutors, and they were an active graphic designer working in studios, which is still my dream still today. And I get to make connections through them, because sometimes they direct me through like competitions or some other live projects that I could be involved while I'm learning in the university. So the first thing that I do consider in picking my university is the tutors and like the courseworks, the module, everything. But then considering a couple of places as well, I do look into the city, and Leeds has been one of the city that intrigues me the most, because everything is walking distance. So I get to walk everywhere without having to like ride a bus or something like that, which it is quite nice to be able to like walk everywhere around the city, and it's quite near like the university and the city center. So every week I do need some like groceries, I could just walk to the city. And the life here, it's mostly students, so like everywhere I go I get to meet like my course mates, and it felt like a small city, but at the same time it's quite big, because like there are a lot of places to explore.
It sounds like I had quite a similar experience. So obviously Leeds and Bournemouth, well, Leeds is definitely a city. I think Bournemouth's still a town. It's quite a big one though. Loughborough is a market town, which people may or may not know about. I often found quite a lot of people don't know where it is, but we're sort of situated in the East Midlands, and we're quite a prolific university for things such as sport and engineering, and we used to be the largest single site campus in the UK, and then we built another campus in London. So we're still pretty big though. It's quite a vast campus, and the campus takes up quite a large portion of actually Loughborough town. So one of the things that attracted me to come to Loughborough, it's actually not that far from where I grew up, but I'd never been, and it was the campus itself is absolutely beautiful. It's sort of a small town, sort of enclosed within its own perimeter, because it's got everything that you would ever need. Like in my first year, I've very rarely needed to leave the campus, which was quite odd, because I'd pop into town for groceries and bits and bobs. But similar to what Amira said, everything was in walking distance. But the thing that kind of initially attracted me to it was the greenery and the atmosphere and the environment, because I remember parking with my mum on one of the open days. We parked up and we had to walk through the campus to get to my department. And also I think I went on one day where the sun was out and it was gorgeous, and then one day when it was raining. And when I realized that I enjoyed it just as much when it was raining as I did when the sun was out, I was like, I think I could live in this place, because like you can sort of go on open days and get everybody who's giving you the big sales pitch and everything. But I think it was just very cliche, but it was a feeling I got when I sort of walked through there. I was like, oh, I could actually see myself walking along this road. I could see myself living here. I really enjoy it. And to be honest, everything just kind of got better, because then I went down to my department. And Loughborough English is quite a small department, but quite an intimate department. The staff to student ratio is quite small, which meant that the staff have more personal one-to-one kind of tuitions with you, so they all sort of do know you by name, which is lovely, because you can feel a little bit like what's the phrase, I was going to say, a fish out of water, or just sort of feeling very small and being lost in this place that you just sort of feel when you go to university. Oh my God, is anyone ever going to be looking out for me? Is anybody ever going to be sort of notice if I'm struggling? Is anyone going to notice if I'm not there? And it was definitely something that really helped me going into such a small department, even in such a vast campus, because I just immediately was made to feel at home. And yeah, I prefer well, I say I prefer, I've never really experienced a university in a city, but personally for me, I quite like the fact that we were a small town. There's plenty to do. There's plenty to do in the town, and we're also a short train ride away from places like Nottingham and Leicester, which are bigger cities if you ever want to go somewhere like that. But because we're quite the university is quite dominant in the town, it means that the town is sort of built around the students. I think, as Mo was saying, when the students aren't there, sometimes feels quite quiet. But it means that we've got quite a lot going on in the town centre that is quite orientated towards student experience. So overall, it was like being able to go to this whole new town and live there and study there and just feel like I was around peers of my own age and living in this very strange reality for a few years of just complete student. They call it the Loughborough bubble, because it really is. You're sort of living inside this massive world where it's just like everything is just university and there for you. So yeah, let's have a look if we've got anything else. But yes, I can understand that when you're in the initial kind of selection process of looking at different universities, what I would always recommend would be to sort of, very similar to what Mo was saying earlier, is make a list of what's important to you. If it's important to you that you want facilities, if it's important to you that you want real life industry experience, if you want to live in a city, if you want to live on a campus, start having a look at these different kind of types of place. If you want to be in close proximity to major transport links such as London airports and things like that, start having a think about what it is that is important to you moving away. Do you want to be close to family and friends? Do you want to be near the coast? I had somebody the other day say to me, what's surfing like at Loughborough? I said, well, we can't really get much more landlocked. We're kind of madly in the middle of the country. I think there are a few trips to the beach, but especially somewhere like Bournemouth, you'd if you want more of a coastal view. So everybody is different, and I never think it's too early to start thinking about what the sort of things you would prefer are.
Another thing, you think about the surrounded area. Don't search only, for example, if you find specific university around the UK and hold on, it's surrounded with like just this campus surrounded with just housing and stuff like that. Don't think it's not good. Think about the finance side as well. Hold on, it will be cheaper for you to live around the campus, and you will save slight bit of money. So during the holiday, you'll be able to travel around the UK, like having these beautiful vacations. For example, go to the up north, or you'd go just down the south here, or anything like that. Also, you can think about your train rides. Like, it's really easy at the UK. Like back home to me, it's everything driving, and like you can imagine 4 hours driving just to reach specific distance and then 4 hours back. It's not easy. But the UK, it's like 2 hours train ride. Yeah, but in reality, you're set playing on your phone, listening to music. That's a huge difference here. Like you're not worrying about the traffic, about the petrol keeping, oh, hold on, I need to top up. It's nothing like that. The UK, it's slightly easier with the public transport. Also, the cities next to you, like, or the towns, or like, to me, like, I loved Bournemouth to pieces. We have this love and hate relationship between me and Bournemouth. But at the same time, like, whenever I feel like, oh, I'm giving up with Bournemouth, I just take the train 30 minutes to Southampton, go to the Sea City Museum, spend the whole day in Titanic looking around, and it's just different environment. I like museums, and there's something that really attract me to like next door, our neighbors, Southampton. But it doesn't have, I don't have to pick a university there because I can go there.
I want to add with that as well, because it's nice to pick a student city because you get to experience this atmosphere of surrounded by students, but also you get to focus on your university without getting distracted. Like to compare, like here also, as Mo said, like it's nice, everything is like reached by train. So every weekend, sometimes me and my friends go to these different cities to just explore new places, and like going to Manchester, visit the city. But I couldn't imagine myself like living and going to uni there because it's just too huge for me. Like everything is so far away. And yeah, Student City is like the best options for me.
Brilliant. We've got about quarters, we've probably got about 15 minutes left. So there's a very kind of wide-ranging question this about what's the best and worst thing about your university. I think one of the things we haven't touched on yet, that I will sort of segue into my answer, is about the range of opportunities that you can get involved with outside of your degree. So for me, one of the best things about being here at Loughborough was the opportunities I was afforded outside of studying, because studying a creative subject, typically my contact hours were lower than, say, some of my friends who studied maths and engineering. They would be in labs 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. I would often have maybe a lecture 2 till 4 on a Monday, maybe sometimes something on a Wednesday. Definitely in first year, I had more lectures and more kind of things to go to, and then a lot of kind of independent study as I went through. So in my spare time, I took on this as a job. I'm a student ambassador for Loughborough, which is a role I absolutely love, and I was able to take on different shifts, which was also, it's a paid role, so I was able to earn a little bit of money on the side of studying, which made socializing and going out weekends a little bit easier. And as the other two have said, going to visit different places around the UK in my spare time, because I was able to, because I was working. So I also got involved in quite a lot of societies, and kind of sports and things. So I was in a drama society where we would put on different plays, about 2 or 3 a term, and we would be involved in everything from like the writing of stuff, the directing, performance, costumes, lighting, everything like that. And that was a really good other way of that I found making friends, because it was engaging with kind of like-minded people and stuff. And then also kind of I did a bit of volunteering. I tried to get involved with as much as I could, because as I say, when you get here or when you get to university, there's almost so much to do that it's like, oh my goodness, where do I even start? But over the 3 years as an undergrad, I went around like lots of different society fairs that they usually had in Freshers Week, and you pick up leaflets and you take freebies from people, and you start to be like, oh, I'd like to try that, and you might go to something and go, no, that's not me. But the beauty is there's always something else to try, and every year I picked up something different, whether it was like writing for a university magazine. I went with a friend to a pole fitness trial once. That was really not my thing, but she had a great time, and I was just like, well, I've tried something new. So for me, the best thing was having that sort of time to be able to get involved in so many different, I think it's a very unique time in your life where you have this opportunity to try so many things. And I think the beauty is that if not all of them will stick, and that's great, but at least you put yourself out there and you tried a new thing.
Yeah, I do agree with Hannah as well. Like there are plenty of independent study, and so I get to take advantage of my time doing a lot of things. So I'm also volunteering in organizations back in Indonesia, and because it's like a remote working, so I get to still work. I also did an internship back in summer last year, but it changes into like a part-time jobs where I do 1 post a week, which doesn't take a lot of my time. It doesn't distract me from my university, but it also add incomes and expanding my connections back home. Here I do work as student ambassador as well. And then like the university offers a lot of like societies programs that are happening throughout the weekends. And then I'm also an international officer, student officer as well. So there are a lot of things that I get to experience besides my study. And like my independent study, I like to go to university just to sit in the library, because they offer a lot of like designer books, which if I get it myself, it will be so expensive, and being able to be access that with the university is such an amazing time.
The same thing with me, but to me, the university, it makes what the best thing to me about AUB, it's the unique environment we have and the connection we build. It's not just between you and your classmates. By the second year, you will know every single course, second year students and third year students, and you will be introduced to the first year students. Because we are a small campus comparing with other university, we are around like 4,000 something students. So you will get used to the faces, starting with the faces. If you are like, to me, I'm not a person with names. I've just memorized faces. But when it comes to the university, but within my, like, by my last year, and I was like, wow, I gained at least like 600 connection within my LinkedIn, which is something amazing. Like, because every single day I looked at my like the LinkedIn, I was like, this one of my friends of mine just working with Marvels, another person, Warner Brothers, and I was like, oh, hold on, what's this person doing? Netflix. Wow. Met these people. That's something I'm really, like, I feel something really positive, because I can see in front of me that the university have a great reputation within the industry, especially when like once it happens to me personally, like a famous actor introduced himself to me, and I was like, whoa, chill out. Yeah, that's something like I'm really proud of being part of AUB. And also the other opportunities that are on Bournemouth, like we don't have a lot of filming, like to my field, we have absolutely nothing comparing with the cities, with London. But if you think about it, if I want to spend time in London, I can live there. I have one of my classmates living in London, and he's just traveling to Bournemouth, because we don't have every single day classes, and depends on your specialism. My specialism required my physical attendance, because I'm doing cinematography and production design, something practical. But if you are producing, you are able to produce film while you're in London, and just coming to Bournemouth during the some of the important meetings and some of the production days. Even the production days, you don't really have to be there as a producer. If you're first AD there, just be with them online. And that's something you really like about AUB. You learn this stuff, and they just push you about to the industry as much as they can. It's not just about you pay the money, you study, and full stop. We exam you, or we assess you. Another thing, like, I'm not sure about the other universities if you have this or no, but we have professional development by third year, which is really, really interesting, that you have to prove to your tutor that you are capable to take care of yourself for the next 10 years at least, from this point, from your graduation, which is something it gives you, like every couple of weeks. I remember I was thinking, when in my last year, I was thinking every couple of weekend, I'm thinking, what's the next step? Like, what is going to be? What is my future will be like? And the university really push you towards the side of, like, be creative, to think outside the box, and just be brave.
I would say that, yeah, student support, and definitely wherein it is what you put in, what you get out of your degree, and there is a lot of kind of independent study. There will be a lot of time that you are on your own doing your work, but you're not alone. I'd say that the help and the support and the student advice and things are out there. And definitely one piece of advice I would have would be engage with your tutors from a very early on point, because my tutors have been absolutely pivotal in my university career, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to specialize in, but I really want to give this my best shot. And they can see if you are willing to learn and you are eager to learn, and that kind of thing. So it's definitely, it's about picking a subject that you are passionate about. I often say that you don't go and study a subject at university just because you think at the end of the 3 years it will look good with a name next to it. I feel that you have to study something that you love, and I think as creatives, that's definitely something that probably unites all of us, because although creative careers are not particularly seen as some of the more traditional routes, maybe there's more kind of freelance, right, and work and things. I think what unites all of us is sort of our passion for our subject, and a real kind of drive and ambition and love for what we do. And I think that wherever you end up choosing, wherever you sort of settle your roots down, just make sure that what you're doing is something that you genuinely have a lot of love and care for, because you will be studying it for the next 3 years, and otherwise you're probably going to hate it. So I think that's the best piece of advice I could probably give to anybody if they were starting out on this again.
She asked, I believe, about the best and the worst thing. I'm not sure if I answered the worst thing, but honestly, Bournemouth, we have bipolar weather, and if you're international
I think
student,
that's just the UK, to be
yeah, exactly. Like if you are moving to the UK, expect the unexpected, expect the rain in the sunny day, and the sun in a rainy day. So expect 2 seasons in one day. It's like I went out today morning. I was quite, hold on, it's quite hot today. I reached the university. I was inside the office. Hold on, why it's freezing? All of a sudden the temperature dropped. I looked at my phone. There was a weather warning of like snow in surrounded area, and I was like, it's almost April, for God's sake. But that's something but that's the worst thing you'll experience, honestly, for living at the UK, like the weather.
No, the thing is, I already packed my puffer and stuff. Like I already put it in somewhere, like in my luggage. And today, out of nowhere, it's like started snowing really hard. And it's like winter all over again. When in fact, it was like very sunny, like the past week, which has been so nice. But here we are.
It was really hot last weekend, and then today I was like, oh
last
God.
weekend I was at the beach.
Me too.
I was like, oh my God, that's what I want next weekend. And I planned my Sunday this week going to the beach and having a picnic. And all of a sudden the app of the weather, like the weather app, and I was like, rain.
It's not happening.
I would say that a hatred of British weather is something of a universal experience. It is something that unites us all. But then again, if that is the worst thing about your university experience, I would count that as a win, to be honest. So I think we're probably going to Nora says she's never seen snow, but I'd like to. I have a love-hate relationship with snow. It looks so pretty out of the window, but now I drive and it's frustrating, because now I look out the window and I think, oh, it's going to take ages to scrape the ice off the car, and it's going to be so.
And like, to me, when I first saw the rain,
the snow.
Oh God, snow.
The rain is not beautiful.
The rain is not, I agree. But the snow, yeah, it's beautiful. And I spend around, like, I walked a very long distance from Bournemouth to different area. And I only realized when I opened the map, I need around an hour and a half walking back, speed walking. And I was like, how did I reach this point? Like, it was snowy, and you can tell, like, it was my first time snow. Wow.
Yeah.
And I walked like a very long time. So except some beautiful stuff. Even if you choose area you don't have the snow, you can go, for example, to up north over Christmas or after Christmas just to see the snowy season.
We've got quite a diverse. It's predominantly rain, but
rain everywhere. Rain.
Brilliant. Well, if there's nothing else, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I hope that everyone who's attended has found it informative and we've been able to answer your questions. And yeah, if you'd like to get in touch, I'm sure that there are email addresses and things from when you join the link if you do have any further questions. But yeah, all that probably remains to say is thank you and best of luck on your own university experience.
I have a question that pops up. I believe it's
yes. So Natalia said, how did you know that you wanted to study film and what area to specialize in?
I realized I want to study film on in a trip from back home. I was studying interior architecture in 2013, 14, almost 15. But in 15, I was like, nope, it's not for me. I was in a trip and I was Googling film studies for some odd reasons. I have no clue why. It's like someone telling me in my head to do research in this field, because it's always been my passion of making filmmaking and photography, but photography, it's not something I really like to spend so much time in. To me, it's not worth investing in one frame where I can make 30 frames per second. It's a huge difference. And also in like the area I want to specialize in, that's something I didn't realize honestly until my first year, because I entered the film the AUB or the film course thinking I'm an editor and post-production person. But by the end of first year, and I was like, hold on, I'm more like cinematography. I'm a camera person and a production design, which is something slightly similar to interior architecture. But and within the production design, you are more thinking outside the box, so you can create like a bed size of a house or a house size of a bed, something like that, something crazy. That's the production design, or that's the beauty of it. So I realized these are the area I want to spend my future, or where I can see myself working in, like workshop behind the camera, running on a film set for gripping or lighting. These elements was a key. These was key elements. And during my trip, I was more like taking clips more than photos. In 2014, it was iPhone back in the days, but it was still good. But like sometimes you just discover this. It doesn't have to be something you're really passionate about. So it might be just a hobby. To me, taking photos, everyone has the taking photos hobby, but they don't develop this as a main skill. To me, like it was key, because since I was young, I was like, I need DSLR. Even when I was 13, I remember, and I was like, I need a DSLR. I remember this conversation with my dad. He was like, but you are not even 15. Why do you need DSLR? It's like, because I've seen it's a beautiful device. I have no clue what the DSLR does. All I know, it's a massive camera. Nowadays, if someone offered me DSLR, I'll say, I'm all right, thank you. That's a huge difference. But within the days, when you grow up, when you study the field you like, you will understand more what you want to do in the future, what you want to achieve from your person.
And that's brilliant and really comprehensive way to round it out. Right, well, thank you everybody. We won't take up any more of your time. And yeah, lovely to meet you all. And I wish you all the best with the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Take care all.
Thank you.